very spooky, even though it's Thanksgiving month now. Did I scare you with my spooky costume of the most unstable Justice Leaguer? I bet I did. For this October, I watched 31 spooky movies, even though like everywhere it says you're only supposed to like watch 13 or something. But I'm a film major now, and my favorite directors are Lynch and Tarkovsky, so like I be watching them shits, boy. So this is my ranking of them. This list is also on Letterboxd, where it's ranked too, so you can go there and read my little one-liners about all these movies. Coming in at number 31 is They Live by John Carpenter. This movie, the big thing about this movie that I like to note is it has a 10-minute fist fight scene where if you've seen any promotional images for this movie, you know the outcome of. There's like no music, it's just these guys punching each other just over and over again for 10 minutes. I guess I could see why some people like that, but I personally don't like that. It's a big like 80s macho movie. I don't really, they give me no reason to really be attached to the characters. The creature effects are cool, I guess, and like the plot is like interesting about like rising up and like corruption stuff, but just like I just didn't feel attached to what was happening. So yeah, bottom of the list. Next is Event Horizon. This movie is filled to the brim with ideas, but it doesn't really like capture them in the way you want. It's kind of just, I'm gonna be real, it's kind of just like Hellraiser in space, kind of. But like it just, yeah. And I know like a lot of the thing was like it was behind the scenes drama and shit like that, where like the producers took over the movie and stuff, but like I couldn't connect with this one either. I thought it had really cool ideas, so I would put it above They Live, but just I felt like it didn't execute any of them like correctly or in an interesting way. And then also it drags itself the fuck out. It's like 2 hours long and like nothing happens until like the last 30 minutes. I'm gonna be so honest. Next I have Funny Games 2007, the remake with Naomi Watts. I didn't want to watch this movie again. I'm gonna be so honest. I did like I watched the original Funny Games this year, and then I watched this like basically back to back, and I didn't want to do that. But you know, like it's still a good movie. Naomi Watts is honestly better than the original actress. But the guy who plays like the lead of the two like evil twins or whatever the fuck, he is honestly terrible. Like he makes this movie be way worse than the original in my opinion. And like it's not even bad either. Like it's still good because it's basically just the same movie, but that actor just in specific is just nowhere near as good as the actor from the original. So that's why it hit so low. 28, Suspiria 2018. I don't like saying that a movie is doing too much or has too much going on because I'm an Altman fan. And Altman movies always have like thousands of like characters with their own individual plot lines, just so much happening. But they're able to pull it off. But like not this movie was doing that. It had like so many different plot lines, but it wasn't able to pull them off correctly. Now I like Luca Guadagnino, or however you pronounce his name. That was probably bad. But like this movie just too much going on. And also, if you're gonna remake Suspiria, why would you make it so dull and colorless? Like that movie is such a vibrant, it's just amazing thing to look at. But this movie was just so like dull and flat, and it's what made it so like unappealing to me. I'm gonna be honest. Like maybe I would have liked it more if it was just interesting to look at until like, you know, the final act, or not the final. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie, like the ending part. You know what I'm talking about. With this movie, it just didn't have that. Next is Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. The Hellraiser movies are really weird for me because I think I would really like them, but they never like hit that oomph that I like want. I'm really into the Cenobites, but I don't feel like there's ever enough, at least in the two movies that I've seen. Um, Hellraiser 1 was better. I don't think that's a hot take at all. Um, but like this movie was cool, I guess. But it just didn't have that much to offer me. I'm gonna be honest. Coming in number 26, I have Wreck, the original, and that was pretty good. It was pretty cool. I don't have that much to say about it. I'm gonna be honest. It's just kind of a good movie. Um, yeah, this one might get me in trouble. At 25, I have Pan's Labyrinth. I liked this movie. I did like this movie, but I felt like it was two different movies, and I don't think they mixed well. One was kind of this Schindler's List type thing, at least the part with Ray Fiennes, and the other part was this really cool kids movie. And it didn't flow well to me. I still think it was good. I think the acting was great. I like the effects a lot. I mean, obviously it's Guillermo del Toro, but just I didn't love it, you know. But it's still a good movie. Like all of these except for They Live in Event Horizon, I think are good movies that I would recommend watching. Next, I have Little Shop of Horrors. I've been getting into musicals this year, and Little Shop of Horrors is the worst one that I've seen, but I thought it was still good. Rick Moranis is great. Steve Martin blows everyone else in this out of the water. I'm gonna be real. But the thing for me is just the ending just kind of didn't feel in place. Neither did the original ending. I watched it just in case to see like which was better, and it just didn't work for me. Neither did. They just both just kind of felt like they came out of nowhere, and like they weren't giving enough time to finish the story really in either ending. So yeah, but it's still great. I would still recommend watching it. The songs are great, especially the dentist song. Next, I have Aliens. This is James Cameron's best movie. This is a great movie. Yeah, like I mean, it's fucking aliens. You know, like I don't think there's much to say about it. Yeah, that's yeah. 22, Dawn of the Dead. Again, it's just obviously a great movie. There's not that much to say about it. Night of the Living Dead is better, I think. But this was still great. It's a lot bolder. And I feel like you can hear a lot more of George Romero's like personal voice in this one. But there's just something about Night of the Living Dead that just sticks with you. Maybe it's the racist implications. Well, not, you know what I mean if you've seen Night of the Living Dead. But yeah, I just don't think there's much to say about this one. It's obviously a classic. It's obviously great. 21. This also might get me in trouble. I have The Fly. The Fly. The thing with it is just like, I just thought that like it was just like really slow. I mean, it's still great. I still liked it a lot. Jeff Goldblum's best performance. Cronenberg's direction. Like once shit starts happening, you know. But it's really slow, and I'm gonna be honest, I just fucking hate Howard Shore. His score is just always way too much in everything. When I first saw Silence of the Lambs, I couldn't get into it because the score was just so awful. And eventually I got over it. So maybe I should rewatch this one too, and I might like it more. But the score just makes it feel like a weird Spielberg movie for like the first hour, I guess. And it just moves so slow. And I just wanted more weirdness out of Cronenberg. I didn't feel like this movie was weird enough. And maybe it was just that expectation. So I probably should watch this one again. I'm gonna be honest. Coming on 20, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously classic. I do think there was a thing for me where it was just so obvious he wasn't actually touching them with the chainsaw that I was like, okay, you know. And I expected a lot of this movie because everyone regards it as like one of the best horror movies ever. So I was just expecting like a I guess, a bit more out of it, or just because like its thing is like it's really realistic and just grim and dark and gritty, and I was just expecting more just grit to it, I guess. But once she gets like captured by the family and they have like the dinner with her, like that's peak right there. That is some of the most disturbing shit I've ever seen in cinema. I love that part. Um, Next is Funny Games 1997. This movie is a masterpiece, but I hated watching it because it is so depressing and vile. So like, yeah, I feel the same about it as I feel of Come and See. I would say Come and See is better though, but it's just movies that I don't enjoy the experience of watching that I'm like, yeah, that's a masterpiece. So like, yeah, like this is great, but like I didn't have a good time watching it, so I'm not putting it any higher. At 18, we have The Exorcist. This is one that I already know I gotta watch again. I was expecting something entirely different out of it, and then I was a bit let down when it didn't meet those expectations. But now that I know what I'm getting into, I feel like I should watch it again. Um, it was really great. I can see the influence that it has on shit. The cinematography is amazing for the 70s, and not to be made by like Spielberg and shit. Um, but it just didn't. It wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. So, yeah. Um, I need to watch it again. At 17, I have Detain. This is probably the most like disgusted I've been by a movie ever. Um, it's insane. And I almost had to turn it off. So I give it props for that. I give it a lot of props for that. Because like the same thing happened with Uncut Gems, and I love that movie. This is another one that I think I do have to watch again, but I don't know if I want to. Um, but great movie. Um, everyone should watch this movie at some point, just because like it's the craziest movie ever made, or one of them. At 16, I have Onibaba, Japanese classic. A lot of people consider this one of the scariest movies ever made. I didn't think it was really scary. I thought it was pretty clearly influenced by Kurosawa, but what if we like make it fucked up? And I mean, it was great. It was good. But I just don't have that much to say about it. It didn't stick with me that much. But I did think it was really good, so it hit pretty high on this list. Next, I have Nosferatu the Vampire by my boy Werner Herzog. He's one of the most interesting people of all time. And he's working with two of the craziest actors of all time on this movie, Isabella Ajanata, I probably pronounced that wrong, and Klaus Kaczynski. And I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula before this, so I was expecting this to be like even crazier, and it wasn't. So that might have been my fault, but I mean, it was good. This is my first Werner Herzog. I just love him because he's the most like interesting person to ever live. But it wasn't as crazy as I wanted it to be. I need to watch more Herzog, but it was still a really good movie. I really liked how it ended differently than like every other adaptation of this story does. I thought that was cool. I loved the performances, obviously. Yeah. At 14, I have Only Lovers Left Alive. This movie is baller as fuck. I'm be honest. I love me some Jim Jarmusch. And this was just great. It a little slow? Yes. Was I disappointed they abandoned their Music Mansion? Yes. Did I love the random White Stripes reference? Yes. But it's the most locked in I've ever seen Jarmusch, aside from maybe Dead Man, I guess. But I would still say this is more locked in. The performances are great. The vibe is immaculate, dude. But I don't know. I just wanted them to be happier, and they just had to like suffer so much. It was just it bummed me out. At 13, I have 28 Days Later. This movie is shot on the same thing that they shoot Always Sunny in Philadelphia with, and there's a guy in the beginning who looks a lot like Glenn Howerton, and I thought it was gonna open on Cillian Murphy in the hospital. So I was really surprised, and I thought I was watching the wrong thing when I saw like this guy looks like Glenn Howerton. Um, this movie is great. I mean, everyone knows it. It's like a horror movie classic. Probably the best zombie movie of all time. I'm going to say it, but I don't really have anything. Like, it's just personal preference at this point. Like, these are all great movies. So yeah. Next, I have Videodrome. This is what I wanted out of a Cronenberg, and it was just great. It was so weird, and just disturbing, and I loved it. It like, yeah. It's a great movie. I recommend everyone see this. Maybe don't see it before The Fly, but you gotta watch this movie. It's crazy. At 11, I have Suspiria. Okay, Suspiria is really lacking in story, but it makes up for it in how just visual it is. Like it's so like just visually beautiful and like addictive, and like the soundtrack too. Just like this movie is a blast to watch. It might not be like honestly the best movie ever, but just like it is so just fun to like look at and listen to. Like if you don't like this movie, I can totally understand where you're coming from, because yeah, I can recognize it's visually like, but I just love looking at this thing and listening to this thing. It's a brilliantly made movie, maybe not written. Honestly, if you say it's not acted well, I'm fine with that too. But just like look at the movie, dude. Like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Coming in at number 10, I have Raw. Raw is pretty great. It's like Lady Bird, but like just disturbing as shit. The ending, like, just wow, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, I loved this movie. At this point, it's just personal preference. So yeah. Coming at number 9 is Hereditary. This movie made me really sad because I miss my family, and I could like see elements of my family in this. Not most of them, but like a little bit. And it made me sad because I miss my family, and now I'm at college. But yeah, it's fucking Hereditary. What do you want me to say at this point? Like, it's Hereditary. I do think that the guy who's playing the son, I think his crying sucks at some points, so that's why it's not higher. But if he just cried better, it would be better. Coming in at 8 is On the Silver Globe. I have a lot of opinions on this movie because I went in expecting a lot, and it didn't really deliver on anything that I wanted. But it was still good. I'm not gonna rewatch it because it's almost 3 hours long. But yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, obviously, it's above all these other movies that I said were pretty good. But just like, yeah. I do think Dune does a lot of what this movie is doing better, and I know that might be a little bit bullshit to say because Dune came out after the book that this movie's based on, and the movie that I'm comparing it to, Dune by Denis Villeneuve, those came out after this movie came out. But just like a lot of what this is doing, I just felt like Dune did better. But it's still a great movie. I love me some Zulawski. I do think it's pretty clear what he was like into and what was his original work in this, because the way he writes relationships is just so interesting to me. But it's not really in this a lot, but when it is in it, the movie is like 10 times better. It's a great movie. Yeah, I don't know what to say really, because there's a lot to say on this. I might just do an own separate thing on this, but yeah, it's great. You should watch it. Dune is better though. If you would rather watch Dune, you should watch Dune. Number 7, I have Donnie Darko. Classic right here. Um, like what put so much of what I like on a more mainstream path just because of how big of a hit this was. Um, it's great. I do feel like it was lacking a bit of like the depth that I wanted, so I watched the director's cut, but the director's cut explained too much. So then I didn't like the director's cut as much. I feel like there should be like a mixture of both. But yeah, and then it would be a perfect movie, I guess. But still, like, yeah. I mean, it's Johnny Darko. It's great. What do you want me to say? Coming in number 6, I have The Audition. This is like a really fun movie, and this is the top of this list in terms of movies I gotta watch again, because I just wasn't expecting it to like get as crazy as it does, and then when it did, like I was like, well, I already know what this movie's about, so I feel I didn't. It was trying to do plot twist that just didn't land for me, but like yeah, so I really need to watch this again because I feel like I will like it a lot more on a rewatch, but as of right now, I'm gonna put it here just because the plot twist it tries to pull off just didn't land for me at all. Coming in number 5, top 5. These are all great movies. These are must-watch movies. These are these are all-timers right here. Coming in number 5 is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. What I mean, like greatest musical of all time, dare say. Like, dude, Tim Curry, out of this world in this movie, man. One of the greatest performances of all time. I mean, it's fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show. My one note about this movie is I felt like the ending could have had more closure and it didn't, but I mean it was great, dude. The songs stuck in my head, bro, like all of them. Yeah. Okay, so top 4, I would give these all 10 out of 10, maybe not 4, but as of right now, I have it as a 10, but that could change. Number 4 is Midsummer. I don't know if I gave this a 10 because of the movie itself or because of just how much I like Ari Aster. I need to give it a little bit more time to settle, but as of right now, but it's still a great movie. The way it explores like the relationship, and like the idea of a cult and how they integrate you, just great. I mean, yeah, it's probably a classic of this generation, especially for horror, but I don't know if I would give it the score I gave it. I just need to give it more time. It's the last one I saw on this list, so I need to let it cool down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's Midsummer, you know. Number 3 is Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola. This movie is fucking crazy, dude. I went into it expecting like the average Francis Ford Coppola package of like kind of pretentious, but still like actually good. But then this movie was actually like maybe the craziest movie I've ever seen aside from like House, I guess, because like Jesus Christ, and the fact that they have like the cast that they do, and they made this, the fact that Francis Ford Coppola, the guy who made The Godfather, made this is crazy. Like, what the fuck? This movie is absurd. I watched this with a friend, and that's probably like the best experience you can get out of this, because yeah, but this movie is so fucking funny. Like, at first we were like a bit iffy on it, especially because of Keanu, and then like 20 minutes in, something just shifts and it just becomes like the goofiest shit, and I love it. And like I feel like it's purposeful, so like I give like it's an actual 10 out of 10, like purposely. And number 2, I have The Host by Bong Joon-ho. This is like everything you could possibly want in a movie, and it's in there. It's just it's probably like the most fun movie I've watched this year. Fun, note the fun. but like it's just wow. Like the wow. Yeah, this is my favorite Bong Joon-ho movie. It's honestly over Parasite for me, just because like of how much fun it is to watch this. Like, man, what a movie, dude. Watch this immediately, actually. Like, out of all the movies, this one's like, accessible. Like, this is a great movie. Just watch it, right now. Right now. Coming in number one, best movie I've watched this year, honestly, Possession. Um, Possession is just, it just clicked with me. I don't know what about it clicked with me. The over the top acting, the sexiness, the absurdity of everything going on. Just wow. Zawalski just out of the park with this one. Like, yeah, this is like the fastest I've clicked with a movie since I've seen like Blue Velvet, I think. Um I I adored this still. Like, best movie I've watched this year. Like, it's crazy. Like, dude, I don't know what to say about this movie. It just did something for me. And yeah, it's like one of my favorite movies now. It's like top 5 like ever. But dude, just like, yeah, loved this. Everyone should watch this one too. It's not for everyone, but I feel like if you want to understand like acting and like what can be done with like direction and like emotions in film, you gotta see this. Like, yeah. So that's my ranking of the movies I watched for Halloween this year. They're all a little bit spooky. Yeah. Um so yeah, watch The Host and Possession and Bram Stoker's Dracula. The rest of them, I don't really give a shit. You've probably already seen some of them. I'm just kind of late to the game on Ari Aster, and Rocky Horror Picture Show. But, like, yeah, peace.